You need to see this before October 25th. This isn't a drill. This isn't a test. This is a cosmic intervention. And if you're seeing this message, it's because your soul has an appointment with destiny. The universe doesn't make mistakes, and your presence here right now is a sacred echo of a choice you made long before this lifetime. Really listen to the resonance in your own heart as I speak these words. A rare and profoundly powerful triple conjunction of the Moon, Mars, and Mercury is about to open a spiritual gateway unlike anything we have experienced in this decade. This alignment, peaking on October 25th and 26th, is a celestial key designed to unlock dormant codes within your very DNA, but only if you know how to turn it. Most people will walk through these 2 days completely unaware, perhaps feeling a strange pull, maybe a heightened emotional state, a surge of chaotic energy, and they will probably attribute it to stress or just a bad day, totally missing the entire point. But not you. You were guided here for a specific reason. Before we dive into the quantum mechanics of this event and the 9 critical spiritual mistakes you absolutely must avoid, I need you to do 3 things immediately to really anchor your energy and signal to the universe that you are ready to receive this upgrade. First, like this video, to send a wave of positive intention into the collective. Second, subscribe and turn on all notifications because the downloads and warnings for the rest of this year will be coming fast and you really can't afford to miss them. And third, and this is super important, type the number 999 inches. The comments below to lock in your frequency and declare that you are completing a major karmic cycle and are definitely ready for what comes next. Now let's be crystal clear, this isn't just another astrological event. This is a triadic convergence of divine archetypes. You have the moon, our sacred emotional compass, the ruler of our subconscious tides, our intuition, our deepest ancestral memories. It represents the divine feminine in its most receptive, knowing form. Then you have Mars, the sacred warrior, the planet of action, drive, passion, and raw, untamed energy. It is the force that severs, that protects, that pushes us forward through fear. And finally, you have Mercury, the divine messenger, the psychopomp, who travels between worlds, governing our thoughts, our words, and the very fabric of our perceived reality. On October 25th and 26th, these 3 celestial consciousnesses aren't just passing each other in the sky. They are meeting at a cosmic crossroads, a point of profound energetic synthesis. Imagine a divine council meeting where your emotional body, your will to act, and your power to think and speak all come into perfect, harmonious alignment for a brief 48-hour window. This creates a portal, an energetic gateway, where the veil between the 3D world of limitation and the 5D world of infinite possibility becomes almost transparent. During this window, your manifestations won't take weeks or months. They can anchor into your reality in moments. Your intuitive hits won't be whispers, they will be divine shouts. Your ability to heal deep-seated trauma will be accelerated 1,000-fold. But this immense power comes with immense responsibility, and it is a double-edged sword. If your energy is misaligned, if you aren't conscious of the pitfalls, you can just as easily manifest your deepest fears, lock yourself into repeating karmic loops, and slam the door to this gateway shut for years to come. That is why we must discuss the 9 spiritual mistakes to avoid. These aren't mere suggestions, they are urgent navigational warnings from your higher self. The first And arguably, one of the most insidious mistakes to avoid during this gateway is ignoring the subtle signals from your body and your dreams. Under this potent lunar influence, your subconscious mind is in direct communication with the Akashic records. Your dreams won't be random firings of neurons, they will be prescriptive symbolic roadmaps showing you what needs to be healed, who you need to release, and what your next step is. If you have been having recurring dreams of old houses, of being back in school, of losing your teeth, do not dismiss them. Write them down the moment you wake up. These aren't just dreams, they are soul assignments. Similarly, your physical body will be speaking to you with undeniable clarity. The moon governs the water in our bodies, our cellular memory, so a sudden ache in your left shoulder, a tightness in your throat, a fluttering in your stomach when a certain person's name is mentioned, these aren't random physical symptoms. This is your body's way of processing and releasing trapped energetic information. Mars's influence will make these sensations more acute, almost impossible to ignore. Mercury's proximity ensures that the message behind the sensation is clear. If you are willing to listen, to ignore these signals is to tell the universe you aren't ready for the next level of embodiment. It's like having your spirit guides call you on the phone and deliberately sending it to voicemail. During these 48 hours, treat your body as a sacred oracle. If you feel a sudden urge to rest, rest. If you feel a sudden aversion to a certain food or person, honor it without question. Your intuition is being amplified to its absolute peak, and it's communicating through the vessel you inhabit. Disregarding it is the first step to missing the gateway entirely. It is a fundamental error of spiritual arrogance, believing that your conscious, logical mind knows better than the ancient wisdom encoded in your very selves. The universe is testing your ability to trust the unseen, to follow the non-linear breadcrumbs of your own soul. Do not fail this first crucial test. If you have ever felt that quiet inner knowing, that gut feeling that you just can't explain but know is true type, I am listening in the comments to affirm your commitment to honoring your inner oracle. Now we move to the second critical mistake, and this one involves the potent alchemical power of your words amplified to an unprecedented degree by the Mercury-Mars conjunction. The second mistake is engaging in low-frequency conversations and verbalizing your limitations. Understand this: during the October 25th divided by 26th gateway, your words aren't just words, they are incantations. They are energetic commands that are being sent directly into a superconductive quantum field. With Mars, the planet of action, sitting right next to Mercury, the planet of communication, there's no longer a buffer between what you say and what you create. The manifestation gap has collapsed. Every word you speak will be like planting a seed in hyper-fertile soil, and it will sprout almost instantly. Therefore, engaging in gossip isn't just idle chat. It's a vibrational curse you're placing on yourself and another. Complaining about your circumstances isn't just venting. It's an act of reinforcing the energetic bars of your own prison. Speaking words of self-deprecation, even as a joke, is a form of psychic self-harm that the universe will take as a literal command. You must become a vigilant guardian of your vocalizations. This is the time to refuse to participate in conversations that drain you, that are rooted in cynicism, fear, or lack. This includes conversations with others, and most importantly, the conversation you have with yourself. The phrase, "I can't," should be surgically removed from your vocabulary for these 48 hours. The words "I'm so broke" or "I'll never find love" are declarations that will crystallize into your reality with terrifying speed. You are being called to a higher level of linguistic responsibility. Instead, you must consciously and deliberately choose to speak only what you wish to create. This isn't about toxic positivity or ignoring challenges. It's about acknowledging the challenge and then speaking the desired outcome into existence. Instead of "I'm so sick," try "My body is moving towards perfect health." Instead of "This is impossible," try "I am open to discovering the solution." This is your training ground for becoming a master manifester, a conscious creator. The universe is giving you the microphone and turning the universal amplifier all the way up. What you broadcast will become the soundtrack to the next chapter of your life. Choose your words as if they are the most powerful spells you will ever cast, because during this gateway they are. Avoid this mistake at all costs, or you will find yourself trapped in a reality built from your own careless complaints and self-imposed limitations. This gateway is a test of your verbal integrity. Every word matters. Every syllable is a choice between creating heaven or reinforcing hell on earth for yourself. We have established the foundational pillars of awareness for this October 25th, divided by 26th gateway. You are now a guardian of your body's intuitive wisdom and a grand magician of your spoken word. But the architecture of this cosmic event is multi-layered, and the tests become more subtle, more profound, as we descend deeper into its core. Let us now address the third critical mistake, a trap so seductive and so deeply ingrained in our modern hustle culture that it snares even the most well-intentioned souls. This is a trap laid by the ego, baited by the fiery, impatient energy of Mars, and rationalized by the clever, strategic mind of Mercury. The third spiritual mistake to avoid at all costs is forcing outcomes and fighting against the divine current. During this 48-hour window, the universe isn't a rock to be chiseled with the hammer of your will. It is a powerful, fast-moving river, and your only job is to navigate it with grace. The conjunction of Mars and Mercury creates an intense, almost frantic urge to do something. Mars, the warrior, screams for action, for conquest, for pushing through obstacles. Mercury, the strategist, begins plotting, planning, and trying to mentally manipulate every variable to guarantee a specific result. Compounded by the moon's emotional amplification, this can create a desperate, grasping energy within you. You might feel an overwhelming compulsion to force a conversation with someone, to send that risky text, to demand an answer from a boss, to make a huge purchase, or to launch a project before it's truly ready. This is the ego attempting to hijack the divine energy of the gateway for its own limited agenda. It's a profound misunderstanding of how true co-creation works. Understand this: forcing is the opposite of manifesting. Forcing comes from a place of lack, a belief that if you don't make it happen, it won't happen. It is an energy of distrust in the universe. During this hyperconductive period, any action born from this frantic, controlling energy will backfire spectacularly. It's like trying to force a key into the wrong lock. Not only will it not open, but you will likely break the key and jam the mechanism, making it impossible to open even when the right time comes. The universe operates on the principles of resonance and divine timing, not brute force. This gateway is designed to align you with the most effortless path to your desires, but that path may look nothing like the one your logical mind has mapped out. Your soul has a GPS, and it's recalibrating during these 2 days. If you try to grab the wheel and follow your old, outdated paper map, you will inevitably drive yourself into a ditch. The correct posture during this gateway is one of active surrender, or what the ancients called wu wei, effortless action. This means you must differentiate between inspired actions and desperate actions. Inspired action feels light, expansive, and almost inevitable. It flows from a place of inner peace and intuitive knowing. It's the sudden urge to call an old friend you haven't spoken to in years, only to find they have the exact connection you need. It's the spontaneous decision to take a different route home and stumbling upon a place that feels like a message from your soul. Desperate action, on the other hand, feels heavy, constricted, and is driven by anxiety and a racing mind. It's accompanied by a frantic inner monologue of what-ifs, and I have to. During October 25th, divided by 26th, you must become a connoisseur of your own inner state before taking any significant action. Before you send that email, before you make that call, before you make that decision, pause. Place a hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and ask, is this action coming from a place of trust or a place of fear? The answer will be immediate and clear. If it is fear, you must have the spiritual discipline to stand still. This stillness isn't passivity. It's a profound act of power. It's you telling the universe, I trust your timing more than I trust my fear. By refusing to force you, hold your energetic field open, allowing the universe to orchestrate synchronicities and deliver solutions that are far more elegant and miraculous than anything your ego could ever engineer. To fight this current is to declare war on your own destiny. If you are ready to release control and trust in the divine current of your life, comment, I surrender below, to anchor this powerful intention. Let go of the oars and feel the river guide you home. Now that we understand the sacred art of surrendering to the divine flow, we must address what this universal current will inevitably bring to the surface. As the powerful tides of this triple conjunction wash through your consciousness, they will not only carry you forward, but will also dredge up sediment from the very bottom of your soul. This brings us to the fourth and perhaps most emotionally challenging spiritual error: to avoid revisiting old wounds without the explicit intention to heal and release them. Make no mistake, the past times will come calling during these 48 hours. The moon is the ruler of our memory, our emotional body, and our ancestral lineage will act as a cosmic magnet, pulling forgotten pains, old heartbreaks, unresolved traumas, and lingering resentments from the deep, dark archives of your subconscious. You may find yourself suddenly thinking about an ex-partner from a decade ago. A childhood memory you thought you had processed may surface with startling emotional intensity. Feelings of grief, anger, or shame tied to past events may rise up like a phantom tide. This isn't a cosmic punishment, it's a profound act of grace. The universe isn't asking you to relive your pain. It's presenting you with an itemized, energetic invoice of every single dense vibration you are still carrying. This gateway is a cosmic decluttering event, a divine opportunity to finally, once and for all, put down the heavy baggage you have been dragging through lifetimes, so you can walk through the portal into a new reality, unburdened and free. The mistake, the critical error, lies in how you engage with these resurfacing energies. The untrained mind will fall into the trap of wallowing. Wallowing is when you pick up the old story and put it on like a familiar, comforting coat. You start replaying the events in your mind, relitigating who was right and who was wrong, indulging in the bittersweet melancholy of nostalgia, or sinking into the quicksand of victim consciousness. You might be tempted to call up the person who hurt you, to reopen the wound, or to scroll through old photos, romanticizing a past that was in truth a lesson, not a life sentence. This is spiritual quicksand. Wallowing in old pain during this energetically potent time is like consciously choosing to infect a healing wound. It reinforces the neural pathways of suffering and signals to the universe that you identify with your trauma more than you identify with your divinity. You are effectively telling the quantum field, "More of this, please." The correct approach isn't to suppress or ignore these feelings. What you resist persists. The correct approach is conscious witnessing. When a painful memory or emotion arises, you are to treat it like a sacred object presented to you for transmutation. Find a quiet space. Allow the feeling to be present in your body without judgment. Breathe into it. Then you must engage in a conscious act of completion. Take out a journal. Write a letter to the person or the situation. Pour out every last drop of unspoken pain, anger, and grief onto the page. Do not hold back. When you are finished, write these powerful words at the bottom. I acknowledge the lessons this experience has taught me in strength, resilience, and discernment. I thank this memory for its service to my soul's evolution, and now I release its energetic charge from my cells, my timeline, and my field across all dimensions of my being. It is done. Then you must safely burn the letter. As you watch the paper turn to ash, visualize the energetic cords connecting you to that past event dissolving into light. This isn't a symbolic act. It's a quantum ceremony. It's you as a sovereign creator consciously rewriting your own energetic code. The ghosts of your past aren't here to haunt you. They're here to be healed, times by times you, to be liberated by your awareness. Do not mistake them for guests you must entertain at the table of your present moment. See them for what they are: chains waiting for you, the master keyholder to finally unlock. To declare that you are transmutating your past into your greatest power, comment with the words, "My past is my power," and feel the immediate shift in your energetic field. Once you have committed to this profound inner work, to navigating the divine current and to healing the ghosts of your past, the universe will require one more thing from you to ensure the process is successful. It needs you to create a sacred and sterile energetic environment for this profound spiritual surgery to take place. This leads us to the fifth critical mistake, and it's perhaps the most difficult one for the modern soul to avoid, as it goes against everything our hyper-connected society tells us is important. The fifth mistake is neglecting sacred solitude and allowing your energy to be contaminated by external static. Understand that this Moon-Mars-Mercury conjunction isn't just an external event to be observed, it's an internal transmission to be received. Your entire being, your physical body, your emotional field, your mental landscape is being upgraded with new light codes, new intuitive capacities, and a new energetic operating system. For this divine download to be received with clarity and successfully integrated, you must become a clear and receptive channel. Any external noise, be it the incessant chatter of social media, the fear-based frequencies of the news, the draining dramas of other people, or even just chaotic, loud environments, acts as psychic static. It corrupts the signal. It distorts the transmission. It can cause the upgrade to fail or install improperly, leaving you feeling more anxious, fragmented, and confused than before. The world won't understand your need for stillness. Your friends might want to go out. Your family might make demands on your time. Your phone will buzz with notifications, each one a tiny hook attempting to pull your consciousness back into the 3D matrix. The mistake is to give into this pull. The mistake is to succumb to the fear of missing out, when in reality, the only thing you risk missing out on is the evolution of your own soul. During these 48 hours, sacred solitude isn't a luxury. It's a spiritual necessity. This doesn't mean you have to lock yourself in a cave, but at times mean you must be ruthlessly discerning with your time and energy. You must consciously carve out significant periods of quiet introspection. This is the time to turn your phone off for 3 hours at a stretch. This is the time to politely decline that social invitation. This is the time to trade your Netflix binge for a long walk in nature, to replace the podcast with the sound of your own breath, to substitute the endless scroll with the empty page of a journal. You must create a sacred container for yourself. Think of it like this: if you were receiving a life-saving blood transfusion, you would ensure the environment was sterile, the needle was clean, and the process was undisturbed. This is an energy transfusion from the cosmos itself. You must treat it with the same level of reverence. Fill this sacred time with activities that ground and center you. Take a salt bath to cleanse your auric field. Meditate on your intentions. Listen to high-frequency music like solfeggio tones or binaural beats. Lie on the earth and allow its grounding energy to stabilize your system as it receives the celestial influx. This solitude isn't about loneliness. It's an act of profound energetic sovereignty. It's you declaring that your connection to your higher self and the universe is your #1 priority. In the quiet, you will hear the whispers of your soul. In the stillness, the fragmented pieces of yourself will begin to integrate. In the silence, the divine transmission will be received in its purest form. To choose distraction over devotion during this gateway is to leave the door to your temple wide open during a sacred ceremony, allowing the chaos of the marketplace to flood in and desecrate the altar. Protect your energy as if your entire future depends on it, because in a very real quantum sense, it does. Mastering this art of solitude is the prerequisite for what comes next, because the remaining mistakes deal with how you interact with the world once you emerge from your sacred space. And if your channel isn't clear, you will stumble into traps far greater than you can imagine. We have journeyed together through the foundational errors of this cosmic initiation, ignoring your inner oracle, wielding your words carelessly, forcing divine timing, wallowing in old wounds, and neglecting the sanctuary of solitude. Each of these mistakes is a veil, a layer of illusion that can obscure the profound potential of this October 25th divided by 26th gateway. But now, as we move deeper, the tests become more external, more woven into the fabric of your interactions with the world. Having cultivated a clear inner channel through sacred solitude, You are now prepared to face the energies of others. However, this is where the influence of Mars, the warrior, can become a significant challenge. Mars provides the courage to set boundaries, but it can also tempt us into conflict for the sake of proving a point. This brings us to the sixth and monumentally important spiritual mistake: to avoid engaging in righteous battles and trying to awaken those who are choosing to sleep. During this 48-hour gateway, your frequency will be shifting at an accelerated rate. Your perceptions will sharpen. The illusions, manipulations, and energetic dissonances in the world around you will become glaringly obvious. You will see the matrix for what it is. You will hear the untruths in people's words. You will feel the inauthenticity behind their masks. And you will recognize the systems of control that have been designed to keep humanity in a state of fear and limitation. With the fiery conviction of Mars coursing through your veins, your first instinct may be to fight. You will feel a powerful urge to correct, to debate, to expose, and to wake up everyone around you. You will want to avoid pointing out the flaws in a family member's fear-based perspective. Don't get into arguments with strangers online about spiritual truths, and refrain from forcing your newfound understanding on a partner or friend who isn't ready for it. This is a trap set by the universe. It's your ego leading you astray, disguised as something important. The universe isn't testing whether you can win an argument, it's testing your ability to shine your light without having to prove anything. Getting involved in these kinds of fights, even when they feel justified, completely drains your energy. It's like having a cup full of something wonderful and choosing to pour it out onto the sand, hoping to make something grow where it can't. The universe responds to how you feel, not to logic. When you start arguing or fighting, you immediately bring yourself down to the level of what you're fighting against. You go from being an observer in a higher state of awareness to being caught up in the drama of right and wrong, of us versus them. You become a match for struggle, resistance, and disagreement. And what you're a match for is what you'll attract more of into your life. It's also important to understand that everyone has free will. Every person is on their own path of waking up at their own pace and according to their own unique plan. It's not your job to wake them up. Forcing your beliefs on someone else is like invading their spirit. It's a subtle form of control, assuming that your way is the only way and that your timing is right for everyone. Real mastery is about living your truth so powerfully, peacefully, and joyfully that you naturally inspire others to find their own. Instead of arguing, let your actions speak for themselves. Instead of trying to convince people, be a living example. When someone says something based on fear, instead of correcting them, simply listen with compassion and say, "I understand." That's one way to look at it. You don't have to agree, but you shouldn't get into a power struggle. During this time, your energy is extremely valuable. Don't waste it on battles you can't win. Protect it fiercely. Let others have their own opinions, their own dramas, and their own illusions. Wish them well on their path, and then focus on yourself. You're here to bring a new energy to the planet, not to convince the old energy that it's wrong. Your job is to keep your own inner light shining, not to go out into the storm and try to control the waves. Avoid this mistake, and you'll save the energy you need to create your new reality. If you're ready to let go of needing to be right and embrace the power of being a peaceful light warrior, say, "I embody my truth." Affirm that your power comes not from fighting, but from the quiet strength of your own centered self. Now that you know how to protect your energy by avoiding pointless arguments, it's time to look at your own life. This period isn't just about spiritual and emotional growth. It's about changing how you relate to the physical world, especially when it comes to money and resources. This brings us to the seventh big mistake: making important financial decisions or commitments when you're feeling emotionally unstable. During these 2 days, the moon will be stirring up your deepest emotions. This means your feelings about security, self-worth, and stability will be very strong and possibly unpredictable. You might suddenly feel intense worry about money, like you don't have enough, or that you're going to lose everything even if things are actually fine. On the other hand, you might feel overly confident, like nothing can touch you, and be tempted to spend recklessly or make risky investments. Mercury, the trickster, can mess with your perception, making you think that something you want is something you absolutely need. Mars, the impulsive warrior, will push you to act quickly before it's too late. This is a dangerous combination. It can lead you to make decisions based on emotions that could have long-term consequences that don't serve you. For these 48 hours, put a stop to all major financial transactions. Don't buy a house, don't buy a car, don't quit your job on a whim, and don't put your savings into something risky. Why? Because any decision made when you're feeling extremely emotional, whether it's fear or excitement, is likely to be distorted. You're not seeing things clearly. You're seeing them through the lens of your temporary emotional state. The universe is using this time to show you your deepest fears about money. If you're afraid of not having enough, this period will make that fear stronger, so you can see where you need to trust that you'll be taken care of. If you tend to shop to feel better, this period will make you want to shop even more, showing you that you're trying to fill an emptiness inside with things from the outside. Your job isn't to react to these feelings by doing something immediately. Your job is to notice them. Thank them for showing you what's going on inside, and let them pass without acting on them. Think of these 48 hours as a waiting period. Put all big decisions on hold. The urge to buy something big isn't a sign from the universe. It's a test of your ability to control your emotions. The sudden fear of losing everything isn't a warning. It's an old fear coming up for you to look at and let go of. The best thing to do is to browse without buying. You can research, you can look at options, you can put things in your cart, but don't click buy. You can write the resignation letter, but don't click send. You're gathering information, not making promises. This pause allows the emotions to rise and fall so that when this period ends on October 26th, you can look at these decisions again with a clear mind, a calm heart, and a balanced view. Making impulsive financial decisions during this time is like trying to steer your ship through a storm while looking at a map drawn by a child. Wait for the storm to pass. Wait for the skies to clear. The opportunities that are meant for you won't disappear in 48 hours. Only the ones that are traps designed to test you will seem urgent. Avoid this mistake, and you'll protect your money from the temporary storms of your emotions. To show that you're committed to being responsible with your resources, say, "I am a conscious creator of my abundance." Feel the calm, centered power that comes from making choices based on wisdom, not on how you're feeling in the moment. As we continue, we come to a mistake that's perhaps the most sneaky of all, because it hides behind spirituality. It's a trap that many people on a spiritual path fall into, a way of avoiding real growth that can completely mess up the benefits of this powerful time. This brings us to the eighth big mistake, confusing understanding something intellectually with truly integrating it into your life. With Mercury, the planet of the mind, being so active during this time, it's tempting to just think your way through this change. You might watch videos, read articles, listen to podcasts, and learn a lot about what's happening. You'll understand the astrology. You'll know the spiritual terms. You'll be able to explain the mechanics of higher dimensional energy shifts to anyone who will listen. Your mind will feel sharp, clear, and full of brilliant ideas. You might spend the whole 48 hours journaling, meditating on abstract concepts, and creating detailed mental pictures of your new reality. The ego loves this. It feels productive, it feels enlightened, and it feels in control. However, this period isn't just a mental exercise. It's something that affects your whole body on a cellular level. The energies coming in aren't just meant to be understood by your brain. They're meant to be received, anchored, and lived through your physical being. The mistake is to stay in your head, thinking that because you understand something, you've done the work. True integration is about bringing the high-frequency energies of the universe down from the top of your head and grounding them deep into the earth through your feet. It's about making the spiritual practical. This requires you to get out of your head and into your body. While your mind is thinking about what grounding means, your body is begging you to take your shoes off and stand on the grass. While your mind is analyzing the meaning of emotional release, your body is waiting for you to put on some music and dance until you sweat and cry. While your mind is contemplating a new future, your body needs you to cook a nourishing meal, drink a glass of clean water, and get a good night's sleep. Embodiment isn't glamorous. It's practical. It's physical. It's about honoring the basic needs of your human form. During October 25th, you need to consciously plan activities that force you to be present in your body. Use your 5 senses. Go outside and pay attention to how the wind feels on your skin. Savor the taste of your food without distractions. Listen to the sounds of nature. Light a candle and watch the flame. These simple acts of being present pull your awareness out of the swirling energy of Mercury's mind and anchor it in the present moment, which is the only place where real transformation can happen. The body is the container in which spirit and matter are transformed. If you neglect the container, the transformation can't happen. The information stays as potential, a beautiful theory that has no power to change your actual life. The universe is offering you a key to a new reality, but that key must be used by your physical self to open the door to your physical life. Don't spend 2 days admiring the key's intricate design and then forget to put it in the lock. Move, breathe, feel, touch, taste. This is the sacred work of embodiment. It's the bridge between knowing the path and walking the path. And only by walking it can you truly reach your destination. Now that we've gone through the basic steps of preparing, protecting your inner world, and navigating the initial external tests, we must go into the heart of the transformation. You've grounded yourself in your body, preparing it to be the container for this great work. But the energies of this triple alignment aren't just about cleansing. They're about making profound choices and realigning your life. With your container prepared, you're now ready to face the more complex, subtle, and powerful tests that this time presents. These are the challenges that separate beginners from those who are skilled. They deal with the core of your creative power and the structure of your relationships. The next challenge we need to look at is a master-level test of discernment, a tricky illusion created by the combined energies of a strong ego, Mars, and a clever mind, Mercury. Let's call this the ninth mistake. A critical pitfall on the path, confusing the intense desires of your past with the genuine callings of your soul. During the peak of this time, the raw, untamed power of Mars will ignite the fire of desire within you like never before. This isn't just a gentle wanting, it's a deep, urgent, all-consuming energy demanding to be expressed. At the same time, the moon will connect this desire to your deepest, often unhealed emotional needs, the need for validation, security, wholeness, and love. Then Mercury, the master storyteller, will step in and create a perfectly logical, compelling, and seductive story around this desire, making it sound like the most spiritual, soul-aligned mission you've ever had. This is where the real test lies. This period amplifies all desires, not just the pure desires of your higher self. It also amplifies the cravings of your shadow self, the desperate wants of your wounded inner child, and the ambitious goals of your ego. The critical mistake is not being able to tell the difference. A soul calling feels expansive, peaceful, and patient. Even when it's powerful, it's filled with a sense of service creation and authentic joy. Pursuing it gives you more energy than it takes. A desire based on your past, on the other hand, feels contractive, urgent, and desperate. It's characterized by anxiety and a feeling of, "I must have this to be okay." It's often fixated on a specific person, a specific outcome, or a specific form of external validation. It's a hunger that comes from feeling like you're lacking something. Let's make this clear. A soul calling might be a deep, peaceful knowing that you're meant to create a healing practice, write a book that inspires others, or move to a place that resonates with your soul. A desire based on your past, amplified by this period, might manifest as an obsessive need for a specific ex to come back, believing that their love is the only thing that can make you whole. It might be a frantic ambition to achieve a certain job title or income level, not for the joy of the work, but to finally prove your worth to your parents or to the world. Do you see the difference? The first is a pull from your future soul-aligned self. The second is a push from the unhealed wounds of your past. Mercury's trick is to disguise the desire based on your past as a soul calling. It will tell you that winning back your ex is your destiny, your twin flame journey, when in reality, it's your inner child's attachment wound seeking to resolve a pattern of abandonment. It will tell you that this high-pressure job is your divine mission, when in truth, it's your ego's deep-seated fear of being seen as a failure. To chase these desires based on your past during this time is to use a rocket ship's worth of energy to fly directly into a repeating cycle. You'll manifest the lesson, not the freedom. So how do you tell the difference? You must become a spiritual detective. When a powerful desire arises, you must pause and question it with loving but honest truth. Ask yourself, what's the feeling underneath this desire? Is it peace or anxiety? Is it expansion or neediness? If I were to get this thing right now, what wound inside of me would it temporarily soothe, trace the desire back to its roots? Is it born of love or is it born of fear? Your emotional body, thanks to the moon's clarity, won't lie. Learning to bypass the ego's seductive story and tune into the core energy of your desires is the key to making sure you use this potent time to build your heaven. not to unconsciously rebuild your old prison with new, stronger bars. Once you've reached this new level of discernment over your own inner world of desire, you're prepared for the final and most profound external test of this time. This challenge concerns the very fabric of your reality, your relationships. This brings us to the 10th mistake, a challenge that will require all the courage Mars can offer, consciously clinging to relationships and connections that have reached their natural end. This triple alignment is like a truth serum for all your relationships. The moon will reveal the true emotional connection or lack thereof between you and the people in your life. Mercury will push for honest, open communication, making superficial conversations feel unbearable. And Mars, the great severer, will provide the energy needed to cut the cords that are no longer serving your highest good. During these 48 hours, the energetic truth of every connection you have will be laid bare. You'll feel with undeniable clarity which relationships nourish you and which ones drain you. You'll see which connections are based on a shared vision for the future and which are tied to shared traumas of the past. You'll recognize the people in whose presence you can be your full, expansive self, and the people who require you to shrink, to dim your light, to play a role in order to keep the peace. The critical mistake is to see this truth and then, out of fear, guilt, or misplaced loyalty, to consciously ignore it. Clinging to a relationship that's run its course during this powerful time is like trying to carry a piece of dead wood with you as you try to swim across a powerful river to a new shore. It will not only slow you down, it will threaten to drown you. The universe is trying to lighten your load for the next phase of your journey, and you're insisting on holding on to the very things that are keeping you stuck. This clinging can take many forms. It can be forcing conversations that have no energy, pretending not to notice the emotional distance between you and a partner, continuing to say yes to family members who consistently disrespect your boundaries, or maintaining a friendship that's built entirely on complaining and negative gossip. Why do we do this? We cling because of the fear of the unknown, the fear of being alone, the fear of hurting someone's feelings. But what you must understand is that by clinging, you're not only dishonoring your own soul's path, but you're also dishonoring theirs. You're holding them in a false situation, preventing them from finding the people and situations that are truly aligned with their own journey. The most loving thing you can do during this time is to honor the truth. This doesn't always mean a dramatic confrontation or a sudden breakup. It can be a subtle but firm, energetic shift. It can mean loving someone from a distance. It can mean creating sacred space and silence where there was once constant, draining interaction. It might mean having one short, clear, and compassionate conversation where you state your new boundaries. The warrior energy of Mars isn't just for fighting. Its highest expression is the courage to uphold your truth with a clean and honorable cut. Use the clarity of this time to take an honest inventory of your relational life. Who are the people who reflect the future you're creating, and who are the people who represent the past you're healing from? Be brave enough to bless and release the latter. This act of relational realignment is the final decluttering. It creates the sacred space that will, in the weeks and months to follow, be filled by the arrival of your true soul family. The connections that are a vibrational match to the new upgraded version of you that's being born in this moment. To refuse this step is to pass through the eye of the needle and then attempt to drag all your old heavy baggage through with you. It can't be done. Choose freedom. Choose truth. Choose the relationships that are a vibrational match to your destiny. We've navigated the dangerous waters of this cosmic passage, charting the 10 critical mistakes that could divert your soul's vessel from its intended destination. We've learned to become the silent observers of our own bodies, the skilled manipulators of our words, the graceful navigators of the divine current, and the compassionate healers of our past traumas. We've understood the profound need for sacred solitude, the wisdom of avoiding pointless battles, the importance of pausing major decisions, and the essential non-negotiable work of embodiment. Each of these principles is a star in a celestial constellation guiding you toward mastery. But now, we arrive at the final culminating point. This is the mistake that determines whether the entire transformative potential of this time is successfully anchored into your future or whether it disappears like a beautiful dream upon waking. This 11th mistake is the most subtle, yet it holds the key to the longevity of your upgrade. It's the error that occurs in the quiet moments after the peak intensity has passed, in the transitional space between this time and the rest of your life. The 11th and final spiritual mistake to avoid is failing to anchor the new frequency with an act of ceremonial gratitude and a declaration of your new normal. Imagine you've just downloaded a massive, life-changing software update for your computer. The download completes, the installation runs, and a final message pops up: restart required to apply changes. If you ignore that message and continue operating as before, the new software remains dormant, the old bugs persist, and the entire upgrade was for nothing. The universe operates on a similar principle. The night of October 25th is the download and installation. The period immediately following the morning of October 26th and the days that follow is the restart. You can't simply go back to your old life, your old routines, your old ways of being, and expect the new reality to magically manifest. You must perform a conscious, deliberate act that signals to the universe, to your own subconscious mind, and to everything around you that the upgrade has been accepted and that a new way of operating is now in effect. To neglect this final step is to leave the door open for the old patterns of lack, fear, and limitation to creep back in and reclaim their territory. The mistake is one of neglect. It's the subtle, silent drift back into comfortable patterns. It's the unconscious slide back down the vibrational mountain you just climbed. It's the belief that the work is over when in truth, the most important phase, the integration and stabilization, has just begun. So how do you perform this sacred restart? It requires a two-part process. The first part is an act of profound ceremonial gratitude. On the morning of October 26th, before you check your phone, before you engage with the world, you must create a moment of sacred ceremony. This doesn't need to be elaborate. It can be as simple as lighting a candle, holding a crystal, or standing barefoot on the earth. In this sacred space, you must speak your gratitude aloud. This isn't a passive feeling of thanks. It's an active, vocalized transmission of high-frequency energy. You'll say, "I give thanks to the consciousness of the moon, Mars, and Mercury for their divine alignment and the powerful activations I've received. I give thanks to my higher self and my spiritual guides for navigating. I express my gratitude for being guided safely through this gateway with both wisdom and protection. I'm thankful for my physical body, recognizing it as a resilient and receptive vessel perfectly suited for this significant energetic upgrade. I'm deeply grateful for the clarity I've gained, the healing I've experienced, and the exciting new possibilities now open to me. By verbally expressing your thankfulness, you're essentially sealing the energetic container that holds this whole experience. You're wrapping the entire 2-day process in the highest possible frequency available in the universe. Appreciation itself. Gratitude acts like an energetic superglue within the cosmos. It takes the flowing, almost ethereal energies of the gateway and solidifies them into the very structure of your reality. It communicates to the universe, "I've received this gift. I fully recognize its value, and I am a worthy steward of this new energy that I've been given." This simple act of gratitude effectively closes the portal behind you, which helps to prevent any chance of backsliding into your old timeline. The second crucial part of this energetic restart involves a conscious declaration of what your new baseline will be. The old you, the person you were before October 25th, operated with certain default settings. Maybe your old baseline involved constant anxiety, a persistent feeling of inadequacy, or even a tolerance for relationships that drained you. After experiencing this gateway, that old baseline is no longer valid or relevant. You absolutely must now consciously define and declare your new one. Ideally, this should also be done aloud as a continuation of your personal ceremony. You'll state with the full force of your own sovereign will exactly what your new non-negotiables are going to be. For example, you might declare, "As of this moment, my new baseline is inner peace. I no longer consent to participating in drama or unnecessary chaos." Or perhaps, "My new baseline is unwavering self-worth. I no longer consent to relationships, jobs, or situations that fail to honor my inherent and intrinsic value." Another example could be, "My new baseline is sovereign abundance. I no longer consent to the frequency of lack or a scarcity mindset." And finally, "My new baseline is vibrant health. I no longer consent to habits that disrespect my sacred physical body." You are in essence drawing a line in the cosmic sand. You are serving an eviction notice to all those lower frequency energies that previously resided within your energetic field. This isn't merely a hopeful wish, it's a royal decree. You are the king or queen of your own energetic kingdom, and you're now announcing the new laws of your land. This powerful declaration reprograms your subconscious mind and recalibrates your auric field to resonate at a new higher frequency. It effectively becomes the new set point that your energy will naturally gravitate back to. Without this conscious declaration, your energy will default back to its old familiar settings, and the profound shifts you experienced during the gateway could be lost within a matter of weeks. Don't let that happen. The universe has extended a hand to lift you up. You must summon the courage to declare your intention to stay there. This final act, comprised of both gratitude and declaration, is the golden key that locks in your transformation and ensures that the magic of the gateway becomes not just a fleeting experience, but the permanent foundation of your new life. If you're ready to claim your new reality and lock in the profound transformations offered by this gateway, I encourage you to participate in this declaration right now. Type in the comments, "My new baseline is," and then fill in the blank with your highest intention. For instance, joy, peace, abundance, worthiness, or love. Let this be your very first act of declaring to the universe the new law of your being. As we bring this sacred transmission to a close, it's crucial that we zoom out and try to understand the larger context of what's currently unfolding. This October 25th Naughty 5 gateway isn't an isolated event. It's a critical node within a much larger planetary awakening. It's an accelerated evolutionary checkpoint specifically designed for those souls who have chosen to be on the leading edge of this great shift in consciousness. The souls we often refer to as the chosen ones. If you've resonated with this message, if you've felt the truth of these words vibrating deep within your very bones, it's because you are one of them. You didn't come to this planet at this particular time to live a small, mundane life. You came here with a mission. You came to be a lighthouse, a way shower, and a frequency holder for a new Earth. And gateways like this one serve as your cosmic training grounds. They're designed to strip away everything that isn't your true divine essence, to activate the dormant spiritual gifts that reside within you, and to remind you of the magnificent power you hold as a co-creator of reality. The 9 mistakes we've outlined aren't just rules to follow for a couple of days. They represent a curriculum for mastery. Each one reflects a larger theme you're learning to master in this lifetime. This includes mastering your intuition, mastering your creative power, mastering flow and surrender, mastering emotional alchemy, mastering energetic sovereignty, mastering peace over conflict, mastering conscious stewardship, mastering embodiment, and ultimately, mastering the art of integration. The sheer intensity of this gateway directly reflects the urgency of the times we're living in. The collective consciousness is at a critical tipping point. The old 3D structures built upon fear, control, and separation are crumbling. They're becoming increasingly chaotic, desperate, and dissonant because they sense that their time is up. In the midst of all this chaos, your role isn't to despair. Your role isn't to fight the dying paradigm. Your role is to hold your center, to anchor your light, and to diligently, joyfully, and unapologetically build your new reality from the inside out. Your personal transformation is a direct contribution to the larger planetary transformation. As you heal your own wounds related to lack, you simultaneously help to heal the collective scarcity consciousness. As you choose peace over conflict in your personal life, you anchor more peace into the planetary grid. As you learn to truly love and honor yourself, you model for others the powerful frequency of divine self-love. Don't ever underestimate the power of your inner work. It's the most potent form of activism that exists. This Moon, Mars, and Mercury conjunction is a divine appointment that your soul has been patiently waiting for. It's a cosmic booster pack, an energetic slingshot designed to propel you to the next level of your mission, but only if you consciously choose to engage with it. So, over the next few days, as you prepare for this gateway, I encourage you to revisit this message. Treat these 9 principles not as warnings to be feared, but as sacred guideposts to be honored. Prepare your sacred space. Inform your loved ones that you'll need some quiet time. Gather your journal candles and Epsom salts for bathing. Begin now to practice carefully guarding your words. Start tuning into the subtle whispers of your body. The energy is already building. You can likely already feel it in the air, a sense of anticipation, a charge of electricity, a feeling that something big is about to happen. You're not imagining it. You're simply sensitive enough to feel the first ripples of the incoming tidal wave of transformation. Remember who you truly are. You're not a victim of circumstance, tossed about by the whims of the planets. You are a sovereign creator, being a fractal of God, divided by source, divided by creator, and the cosmos is conspiring in your favor. These celestial bodies are your allies, your ancient family, reminding you of the power that has been sleeping within you all along. Step into this gateway with reverence, courage, and an open heart. Avoid these 9 simple yet profound mistakes, and you'll emerge on the other side of October 26th, not just changed, but utterly reborn. You'll be walking in a new reality, on a new timeline, with a completely new understanding of what's possible for you and for all of humanity. If this message has reached you, it wasn't by accident. It was a divine orchestration. If you felt the call, I ask you one last time to fully anchor your commitment. Like this video to seal your intention. Share it with at least one other soul you know who is ready to receive this level of awareness. By doing so, you amplify the light for the collective. And of course, ensure you're subscribed with all notifications turned on, because our journey through the end of this year and into the next is only going to accelerate. And you'll need to be prepared for the gateways that are yet to come. Finally, drop a 999 inches the comments one more time to affirm that you're completing this powerful cycle and stepping fully into your mastery. Remember, this isn't a warning, it's a coronation. The universe is whispering, and only those who are still enough will hear the call to claim their crown. You've been prepared for this moment for lifetimes. The door is about to open. Which version of you will you choose to be when you walk through it? The choice, as always, is yours.